A lot of people have wanted me to see it. Let's see it. And this is actual gameplay from Armored Core 6. This is the new game coming out from FromSoft, the makers of Dark Souls and Elden Ring. This is their new game.
We're close to Rubicon. Wake the dog up.
I never played any of the other games.
Verified. Activating cerebral coral control device.
Holy shit. Wow.
Augmented human C4621 has awakened.
Oh shit! Wait, no, this is the game? Oh my god. See, play as this like mech warrior guy. I remember I had one of these games back when I was a kid, like one of the Mech Warrior games. I loved it so much. I haven't played a single one since then. It was on Super Nintendo. This is insane.
Handler Walter's hounds. Interesting. You ready to climb the wall?
Call sign Raven. Priority subject for termination. High on the list.
Oh my god.
A coral response from the generator.
This is fucking badass.
Watch out.
Why hide behind another's call sign?
What the fuck?
Let's see how far they can fly. On borrowed wings.
Wow. Wow. I'm assuming there's absolutely no fucking release date for this, right? August 25th, 2023? What the fuck? That's in 3 months. 4 months. Oh my god. Dude, I thought this wasn't going to come out until like next year. Like the end of next. I thought it was going to be August 2024. Oh my god. I think the best thing about this is that, like, you can look at some, especially at the end, bro, like, this shit was crazy. Like, I think the best thing about it is the fact that, you know, since it's a From Software game, it will actually play well. Because whenever I see something like this, and it's made by anybody else, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it's probably going to be fucked up or something like that. But, like, you can see, like, the graphics for this game are very good, but they're not, like, the top-of-the-line, highest, like, you're going to benchmark a PC with the graphics from this game, right? They're a 9, not a 10. And that's very reassuring to me. Because, you know what? I think this looks fucking awesome. It's not absolutely, like, super perfect with graphics, but it's fucking amazing. And that's good enough. It doesn't have to be photorealistic. Just make it play really fucking well. And that's what they do. I'm very excited. I haven't played a single Armored Core game before this. The game's cliche as fuck. It doesn't matter. Because if it plays well, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what the lore is. I don't care if you're in a robot. I don't care if you're a samurai. I don't care if you're a fucking knight. If it plays well, I play it. If it doesn't play well, I don't play it. It's that simple. So yeah, it's harder than Souls. Maybe it is. I have no idea. Who's dumbass typed that? I have no idea, man. I really don't know. You don't need 4K ultra graphics bullshit. Just make a good game. Yeah, and that's what like I like the style of the game is good too. Like it's very clean. You know, there's not a lot of like noise or like bullshit. It's just very simple. There's a lot of gears in here. You know, it's like one of those fucking things you see on like YouTube compilations where you put like a car into it and it destroys it. Something like that. $450 for collector's edition? Oh, really? Hey, guys. Remember the thing about Elden Ring where you sent me one of those things? Yeah, how about we do that again? Yeah, how about just send another one over to the house? How about that? It'd be really cool if you did that. This is coming out, like, what? Like, less than 18 months after Elden Ring? Something like that? Holy shit. Because, like, Elden Ring took a long time. I remember they started Elden Ring in like 2018, 2019, and it didn't come out until 2022. We still have the DLC too. Yeah, dude, imagine. Yeah, and they're developing the DLC for Elden Ring. Oh my god. Hey, yo, just remember this whenever Blizzard says they can't, they can't change a setting. You know, you're gonna have to wait until the next big content patch for them to change a fucking 3 into a 4. There's an IGN interview with the director of the game. Is this the? I guess. Yeah, I could watch it. Sure. Let's watch it now. Turn it down a bit.
Augmented human C4621 has awakened.
What's
So
up?
this is an interview with apparently the game director of Armored Core that works at FromSoft.
Everyone, my name is Mitchell Saltzman, and today I'm joined remotely all the way from Japan by producer Yasunori Ogura to talk all about Armored Core 6. How are you?
Hi there, I'm great, thank you. I'm Yasunori Ogura from FromSoft, producer on Armored Core 6. It's great to be here.
How long has Armored Core 6 been in development, and what has it been like for FromSoft to return to this franchise that was such a big part of the company for such a long time?
So we have been cultivating development staff through our experience with recent titles, and there were many members of staff, including Miyazaki and myself, who've wanted to make a new Armored Core game for a long time. So really, not making a new Armored Core was never really an option. It was a case of when rather than if. As to the game's direction and development...
I think that's good, by the way. Absolutely. Because, like, the thing is, I think these guys know it. With Elden Ring, bro, it doesn't really get better than Elden Ring. They can make another game that's as good as Elden Ring. But, like, Elden Ring was so definitively fucking amazing. The biggest complaint that people have about it is there's too much content. There's too much. So it's like, they're like, all right, guys, we beat this level. Let's go make another type of game.
In around 2018, Miyazaki and some core members of the team began initial direction and forming the basic core concept of AC6. And after prototyping was complete, our director Yamamura took over on the project. However, as you know, we have several projects going on at the same time within the company, so we had to get an ideal allocation of resources. We had to get the right staff on board, which resulted in a slightly longer wait, but we're happy to finally bring a new Armored Core to our fans.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the story of Armored Core 6 and whether newcomers will be able to jump right into this entry if they haven't played any of the other ones?
This is a brand new story and has no direct link to previous titles.
Okay,
AC6
great.
takes place in a future where interstellar travel is commonplace.
It seems that way.
Not on Earth, but on a fictional planet in a distant star system called RUBICON 3. RUBICON is a devastated planet that was razed to ash in a great disaster caused by the outbreak of a mysterious new substance called coral.
Activating cerebral coral control device.
Which occurred half a century before the events of the game take place. At the outset of the game and the story, the player learns that coral, which was thought lost in this great disaster, has been rediscovered.
Okay.
And extraterrestrial corporate forces have begun an invasion race to acquire the rights to this mysterious and powerful new substance.
That's interesting.
So they are at conflict with the indigenous forces who are resisting their invasion on the planet Rubicon. And the player, as a lone independent mercenary and AC pilot, is thrust into this Rubicon war for Coral. So although AC6 is a numbered title, the setting and story are completely new, and
it's
we
like
believe
Final
it
Fantasy.
makes a great first entry into the series for newcomers and old fans alike.
We're close to Rubicon. Wake the dog up.
So let's talk a little bit about Rubicon as a setting.
That's
Is there
cool.
anything that's
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Pretty simple. You know, I like that. Yeah, simple story. All right, there you go.
unique about the planet?
Time to
that will
liberate some
allow
coral.
for
Yeah,
kind
coral is probably going to be the new souls. The new runes.
of unique mission structures that people haven't seen in the Armored Core series previously?
There are two things we'd like to convey to both newcomers and old hands to the series. Armored Core offers two unique game experiences. First is this dynamic, three-dimensional action that can only be achieved with mix. And the second is the ability to customize your own personal AC by combining multiple parts and decorating it to your liking with painting and decals and the like.
See,
So
like,
the-
that's what I wonder about. Is like, am I going to be able to just, like, fucking replace this gun with, like, a giant energy sword and, like, cut through people like it's a fucking lightsaber? Like, am I just, like, customizing it in terms of, like, yeah, like, what is the... Can I just put all my points into having a gigantic fucking rocket on my back that, like, shoots a nuclear bomb that one-shots all of the bosses? Like, what really... Like... What is the extent of customization here? Because that's what we're going to figure out.
These player-assembled,
I'm excited for
player-controlled
that.
ACs are able to fly freely through the air and handle multiple weapons simultaneously and turn on a dime, dash in different directions at once. This makes for a dynamic and very aggressive combat style that makes full use of the three-dimensional space. And we feel that this has always been an appeal of the Armored Core series and is an appeal of the mech action genre.
Okay.
For die-hard Armored Core fans, what are the elements of Armored Core 6 that those hardcore fans are going to find appealing about this game?
Okay.
With AC6, one area we focused on was to make sure that the customization aspect is not just about parameters going up and down and numerical values changing, but how these changes are reflected in the feel of the action as much as possible.
Oh, that's good.
In particular, the leg parts, which control the AC's movement, you might have a tank type legs that can perform drift turns.
So you can actually just... You can literally just fucking be a tank. So whenever we saw that guy that was a tank, that was a character. Holy shit.
This changes the very basic behavior and traversal type of the AC. We
Yeah,
also
I
made
bet.
sure that the behavior of weapons, such as the way they shoot, how they recoil, how their projectiles behave, we tried to make sure that this all makes a big difference in how the game feels and plays.
So, speaking a little bit about that customization, Armored Core games have a bit of a reputation for being very complex, with many stats to consider, parts to swap in and out. Is there anything else that you guys are planning on doing with Armored Core 6 to make it a little more approachable for newcomers who might not be used to that level of complexity?
As you mentioned, Armored Core has always been a game with many parameters and is a game where you can enjoy the complexity and depth it offers, but we feel it's also a game where you can enjoy simply by assembling your AC without thinking too deeply about it and adjust the appearance to your
Okay,
liking.
so no, they're not gonna. Seems like they're not really toning down the the complexity of it. Okay.
And simply get out there and pilot it.
Yeah, you want to go out there and be a
That
fucking
said,
idiot? It'll
in
probably be
regard
fine.
to new players, we've taken careful steps with the onboarding and level design in the early stages of the game, so that players can deepen their understanding step by step, little by little, and work their way into that fun of the more complex parts.
Isn't that great that instead of just making the game easier, they make it easier to get into the hard parts? Like, that's... Like, what a crazy fucking mindset.
We've also prepared a training simulator where the player can learn the basics of action and assembly using sample ACs, and we've also tried to make the controls more intuitive, so that we hope that those who have no experience with the series will feel free to enter and enjoy the feel of piloting their very own Armored Core.
That's cool.
Are there any lessons that you guys have learned over the many years you've spent developing the Souls games that you take into the development of Armored Core 6, even though they're kind of two very different genres?
Armored Core 6 is an attempt to take both the knowledge and experience gained from the development of our previous titles and combine it with the fun of mech customization that the AC series has always embraced. And in this sense, we hope to create a new mech action game that is worthy of modern FromSoft standards.
Yeah, I feel like mech games used to be so popular in like the 2000s and like the 90s, and now I feel like you never hear about them anymore. I don't know what happened.
Specifically, we're developing this game with an awareness of the things that FromSoft has always embraced in its other action games, such as a intricate map structure, combat design that allows players to deal with enemies by carefully observing their movements, and the ability to overcome challenging situations with ingenuity and creativity.
Okay.
These are all, of course, things we've kept in mind with AC6 as well. However, as you mentioned, the basic format and genre of Armored Core is completely different from games in, for instance, the Souls lineage. So there are no aspects of the game mechanics or gameplay that can be directly observed.
You ready to climb the wall?
Can you talk a little bit?
Like, I don't think it needs to be like Dark Souls at all, really. I mean, as long as it plays well, and that's it. Just make a good game that plays well. I will be happy. That's all I ask. That's all I need.
About your goals with the combat design, and are there any kind of mechanics that players should know about that perhaps didn't exist in previous Armored Core games?
In terms of points we focused on this time around, I would say that individuality of the melee weapons is one of the key points. Armored Core is mainly a shooting game at heart, and that's exactly why we had this policy of having more unique melee weapons this time around.
That's fucking cool. Some fucking laser sword? Oh, man.
So in addition to the well-known pile...
So what they're saying is we're still going to have a Moonlight Greatsword. Even in Armored Core 6.
And the cluster bomb launcher that you might have seen in the trailer. There are also a variety of weapons with different animations and more unconventional characteristics, such as a chainsaw and a laser lance, and things like this.
Okay.
In the trailer, you may have also seen a part where the core is deployed by an AC to generate a shockwave, and the pile bunker is then used against an opponent who is reeling back from this shockwave. This kind of building combos with multiple weapons aspect is an appeal of AC6's unique assembly and combat, and we hope the players will enjoy using their creativity and asking themselves, what combination of weapons can I use to create my ideal combo
Whenever I
attack?
saw that, this whole thing right here,
Assembly and combat, and we hope the players will enjoy using their creativity and asking themselves, what combination of weapons...
Dude, that reminded me so much of those old, like, fucking Galaga. Like, remember back you'd play these at, like, fucking, like, Chuck E. Cheese, or, like, remember we had Peter Piper Pizza, like, Gotti Town, like, Galaga. Yeah, like, one of these fucking games where you're a spaceship and you're going to different levels and fighting these, like, bigger bosses. Yeah, basically bullet hell games that aren't, like, quite as intense. Oh, man. I went so fucking hard on these games. I love them so much. Raiden? Yeah. Yes.
Can I use to create my ideal combo attacks and secure victory?
So is there any one new thing, whether it's a mechanic or a mech part or a weapon, that you're particularly proud of and are excited for players to experience?
Please say the sword.
I'd like players to mostly look forward to something we touched on earlier, which is this using their ingenuity and creativity to create a combination of their own making, and a combination of the various parts and weapons at their disposal.
I wonder if there'll be enough customization where, like, because in Elden Ring, like I was saying this earlier, right? Like in Elden Ring, there's so much customization in that game that you can just customize your character to kill a boss in one hit. I wonder if there is enough customization in Armored Core to do the exact same thing.
So, for example, they might be dashing across the battlefield while shooting ballistic weapons and letting missiles fly in every which direction.
Way more.
These
We'll
missiles
see.
will connect with their enemy, knock them off balance, and then they'll use their assault boost to dash in with a quick burst of speed and finish with a melee strike. This kind of player-created combo and their own unique combination of weaponry and mobility will allow for this new aggressive, offensive style of AC combat.
I'm excited about that. I think it was one of the best things about Bloodborne. You know, there's no shields in that game, except for one you get at the beginning of the game that tells you that it's bad. Like, that's about it.
This is something that reinvigorates the series and that new and old fans alike can enjoy.
Multiplayer has always been a big part of the Armored Core series. Is there anything you can tell us about multiplayer in Armored Core 6?
So I believe ACV was more focused on multiplayer as the last title in the series. But first of all, the main content of AC6 is positioned as single-player campaign mode where you progress through a more traditional mission structure. There will be an online PvP mode where players can compete against each other with...
Oh, I'm sure it's going to have... The latency on that is going to be flawless, guys. I think it'll be really fun to try it out. But, like, man...
ACs they have built and share their AC data and emblems of their own making with other users. But first and foremost, the story missions in AC6 are single player only. We would like players to go in there, become...
So you can't summon somebody in and just have them kill the boss for you. There's no let me solo hers. You have to do it.
The lone mercenary lifestyle and enjoy this aspect of the game first and foremost. We do hope to share more details about the online aspect at a later date, so please stay tuned for that.
Let's see how far they
Some
can
of the
fly.
visuals for this are fucking amazing.
On
Like, that's so
borrowed wings.
badass.
All right, well, that about wraps it up. Ogura-san, thank you so much for your time. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon is set for release this August 25th on PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. Thanks for watching, and for everything else, keep it right here on IGN.
All right, that was pretty good. Yeah, how about that? I'll link you guys a video. It's a nice interview IGN did. Yeah, look at Armored Core 5 gameplay. Maybe I'll have to try some more. But I'll say that, man, I've never played an Armored Core game. And maybe I'll have to try one before this game actually comes out. I'm not sure exactly when, but, you know, we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll have to be in the next 4 months, because I can't believe this is coming out in, like, 4 months. Oh my God. That is crazy. I can't even believe that. Wow.